Well, I'm back in the greenhouse. As you can tell, this is probably my favorite place. Besides being out with the goats and the cow and the ducks and the chickens. And you can see how that lemon or orange tree is doing. It's just really growing really, really well, quite well. And here's the lemons. You can see they're getting pretty big. That one there. There's that one there. And I think there was one more. I think my daughter said there was 4 big lemons. You can see the blackberries. Those there didn't do all that great. Some right there. They do much better outside than in here. And there's the boysenberry plant. It's taking off and growing really good. And the basil's doing really good. And my hummingbird feeder, I need to get those all up and out. And that is a kiwi plant there. And I had the male in here somewhere. I can't put him someplace. He's here somewhere. But look at these figs. Now that fig is almost ready, like really close. Stems aren't quite hanging down quite yet. Got an ant on that one. But you can see how those figs are getting huge. Turning color. As soon as it's ready, it will just come right off this limb really, really easy. You'll just barely touch it and it'll come off. So it's almost ready. So is this one here. That one's almost ready as well. Oh. I want to cut that limb back this fall so that it's not doing that when it has figs on it next year. I want it to kind of grow up this direction here. So these here. So I'll probably cut it back here, and I'm pretty sure it should grow. I'll check and make sure as the nodules get a little bit. You can see where I cut this one here off, and then it branched out. It branched out this way. This is where I cut it off last fall, and then it branched out that way. So, but this tree has gotten pretty big, grown quite a bit this year. And that one back there, you can see it's got the figs on it. It's the brown turkey fig, I believe is what it's called. And this here fig, I believe it is called the golden fig. So that's what's going on with the figs and the peppers and the chamomile. The stevia, I'm sorry. This is the stevia. You can see it's getting big. And the tomatoes, you can see they've got blossoms on them. I've got to get some string and string them up so they don't fall over. Right now this fig limb is holding them up, but I'm going to take some twine and bring it down and hook it up to these branches so that it'll grow onto those. And it has this tomato plant. It's a new one that came up. So, and the temperature in here right now is 70, and it is like 7 o'clock at night here in Central Oregon. And you can see the blackberry bush is just going hog wild in here. And There's the lemon tree. So I've got to prune it back. I've got to prune them all those limbs down and get them to where they'll shoot out instead of just going straight up. I want them to limb out instead of going up straight. So some of these look like they have, limbs on them, but I want to cut these back so they'll even limb out more. Get the center out of that so that the light can get into that a little better instead of so much center of it being all bundled up like that. Here's the tree that my daughter gave me for Mother's Day. I had to plant it in a bigger bucket because that pot that it was in there was just too small. And you can see how it's growing. It's got lots of new green leaves. And don't let that cat, this one here, fool you. He acts like he's friendly and everything. He'll roll over on his back and show his tummy to you. The minute you go to pet him, he bites you. He's an ornery kitty, but he's my squirrel cat. He's the one that gets all the squirrels. Now, these are my Egyptian walking onions. You can see how they're doing. They've got all these here I will plant. Now, usually what this will do is why they call them Egyptian walking onions. I think I've explained it once before. Is they get heavy and then they bend over and they'll plant themselves back into the ground. And so that's where they get the name Egyptian walking onion. These are an Egyptian onion. And then they just call them that. And then there's my artichoke. Have some cucumbers over there coming up. And I didn't plant much this year. It's been pretty wet, which is good for Central Oregon. We like the rain. Here's the sage. Now this sage is just really taking off. It's blossoming. It's just going crazy. Doing really well outside. I leave it out all winter, all summer, and it's just going crazy. Doing well. And I also have some rosemary. I think I've showed all of these before. And this here I leave out all winter as well. It needs to be watered again. It got plenty of water from off the roof here, so it's not like it's thirsty or anything, but I probably need to put it in a bigger pot so that it'll do a lot better. And then there's the strawberries that I planted this summer. I didn't get to really finish putting all the ones I wanted in here. I kind of got time. Time went away. Oh, here's time. There's time right there. Too bad it doesn't help me any. I got time out in the raised beds too. I got time everywhere and I don't still have enough time. But there's the cucumbers coming up. As you can see, they're not growing very rapidly. And that's just a volunteer there. So we don't grow these. We grew them a couple of years ago. My daughter uses them for her fibromyalgia. And for her social anxiety, she juices all the leaves and everything. But we'll concentrate on the cucumbers. Hopefully they'll come up. There's a cucumber in amongst that plant as well. But hopefully they'll start doing something. Weather is supposed to start getting warmer. And I think Thursday of this week, I think we're going to be shearing goats. We're going to be shearing the Angora goats. Getting the hair off of them so it doesn't get too hot. And delice them and everything. So we'll be doing that. I believe my daughter said Thursday. If not Thursday, we'll do it Friday because we have to do it this week because the days are going to start getting too hot, and we don't like them having their fleece on them when it's hot weather like this. Of course, it's only been in the upper 60s, lower 70s here the last few days. So it's not like it's been extremely hot or anything, but and that's a sage plant too right there. It's not doing as good. I put it out here because it wasn't doing very good in the greenhouse. I don't think it was getting enough water. Now it's probably getting too much water. But I'll probably put some new soil because the roots look like they're kind of exposed a little bit down there. So I'll put it in a new pot, a little bigger pot. And this one here, believe it or not, it's in a pot. And I'm pretty sure the roots have gone through the pot and into this big pot here. So it's doing quite well. The rose bush isn't doing too good. I'm going to have to prune all these back. What happened was it started coming out and it froze, and so it kind of, but you can see there's some roses here. There's some, so I'll just trim these back, the most dead leaves off of it, and do it. This is another flower. I can't remember the name of it. The yellow flower attracts bees and stuff. It's just been too cold for the bees to even come out here lately. Windy and cold, so the bees don't do a lot. Our apple trees didn't do too good this year. They started to blossom out, and we got a freeze. And so they kind of didn't do too well. So our children are only loaned to us by our Creator. Please subscribe. Please push the like button or the dislike button. Make a comment and subscribe. Do the bell so that you're notified every time I do a video. And I'll catch you on the flip side.